Hello, my darlings, and welcome back to the channel. For those of you who are new here, welcome. My name is Ash, and this is the space where you and I get to journey this wild and crazy thing called life together. So pull up a cozy seat, grab something warm to drink, because today we are talking about the differences between shallow desires and what we really, truly want for our lives. It's so easy to get caught up in what we think we should want. And sometimes it's hard to tell if we're following our true path or just chasing things that are influenced by others. Let's talk about how to identify those outside influences, how to spot what's really you, and how to reconnect with your inner desires. Shallow desires are the things that seem important on the surface level or from the outside, but don't really come from a place of your own authentic self. It's about letting external standards dictate what we want for our lives instead of aligning with what's really important to us. These desires are often influenced by outside factors like social media, societal expectations, and sometimes even the closest people to us because of our desire to impress others or even that fear of being vulnerable. This might look like wanting the perfect lifestyle because we're seeing it everywhere. It could be the feeling of the pressure to go down a certain career path that isn't what you want, but it's what is expected of you. Or buying into an idea of success because of what others define success as. This type of mindset keeps us from real peace and our real purpose. And it never truly brings us the fulfillment we're looking for because it's not grounded in who we are. True alignment are the desires that come from within. These are the things that are connected to your values, your passion, and what really lights you up inside. Alignment feels so personal because it's not about fitting into someone else's mold. It's about being true to who you really are. So how do you tell the difference between the two? Here's a little checklist to help. Is this something I truly want, or is it something I feel like I should want? When I think about this goal, does it make me feel energized and enthusiastic, or does it feel more like a burden? Am I pursuing this because it aligns with my values, or because someone else said it's the right thing to do? A few weeks ago, I was meeting with a client, and she mentioned feeling shallow for not liking a potential partner's way of life. This caught my attention because she wasn't being influenced by outside factors or outside pressures. During that conversation, she shared with me that she desires a partner who likes to drive because for her, that indicates and that represents being cared for and being provided for. She simply identified in that conversation that this particular need wasn't being met. She wasn't embarrassed that this potential partner chose not to drive, that driving wasn't a part of his lifestyle. She simply identified that this was a need that she desires to have met. And that is the difference. It was her value for wanting to be taken care of and wanting to be provided for in this way that initiated her desire to disengage from this person, not her fear or concern for what other people might think about how they'll travel to the mountains for a weekend getaway. Let's take a minute and take a step back and notice what happens when we realize that outside influences are taking a lead in our life. It happens to the best of us. We get caught up in the noise and lose sight of what's really important to us. So what do you do when you realize that you maybe have been influenced too much by outside forces? The first thing is to acknowledge the shift. It's significant to acknowledge when you've stepped away from your true desires. This might show up as feeling burnt out, overwhelmed, or just disconnected. And that's okay, because awareness truly is the first step to making a change. The next thing to do then is to revisit your values. Take a moment to reflect on and remember what truly matters to you. What are your core beliefs? What do you actually want out of life? To figure these things out, you can do a life audit, rate the major areas of your life, which is family, friends, career, spirituality, your health and fitness, on a scale of 1 to 10. This is an excellent time to pull out your journal, to meditate, or just sit quietly and reconnect with your deeper self. You might even go a little bit further and ask some tougher questions. What would you want if there were no external pressures or expectations? What would make you feel truly at peace if the people in your life supported any decision that you made? And then the final step is to let go of external validation. This is something I talk about often because it can be really tricky. The average American sees between 4,000 and 10,000 marketing ads in a single day. And this influence doesn't include conversations you're having with your coworkers, with your family, with your friends, with strangers on the street. Practicing detachment from things like social media, toxic relationships, or societal pressures can help you gain clarity. If you'd like a video on what detachment is and how to break free from the noise and give yourself the space to hear your inner voice again, let me know in the comments. Now that we know a little better when we can tell when outside influences take over, let's talk about how we can tune into our true desires and get back to what matters most to us. You can start by listening to your body and to your intuition. Your body knows what feels right, and your intuition tends to get louder and clearer the more often you honor and listen to what it's saying to you. When you're in alignment with your true desires, your body and spirit will often feel lighter, and your mind is much more clear. Pay attention to these physical and these emotional cues. It's your inner guidance system at work, doing what it's supposed to do. Another great way to reconnect is by creating space for quiet inner reflection. We live in such a noisy, rambunctious world, so it's not uncommon for you to not hear or recognize or even be able to listen to your inner voice. So give yourself some time for mental stillness, is what I call it. Whether it's through meditation, which I'll be posting some guided meditations here on the channel soon, driving to work in silence, or looking around instead of at your phone when you're in places of waiting, the line at the grocery store, at your doctor's office. Creating that space, even if it's just a couple of minutes at a time, truly helps you tune into who you are and the desires of your heart. Wholeness is about harmony, and you can't have harmony if you're nonstop on the go and if you don't have quiet. And remember, be kind to yourself while you're on this journey. Truly practice self-compassion. Don't judge yourself for being influenced by outside forces. You're human, that's kind of part of the experience. Instead, just gently release those influences and focus on reconnecting with your inner truth. It's all about growth, not perfection. True fulfillment and happiness come from following your gut, your inner alignment, your true north. So the next time you're pulled in a direction that doesn't feel quite right, pause and ask yourself, does this align with what matters to me, with what I value, with what makes me genuinely happy? You're the only one who knows what's best for you. Trust yourself, stay connected to your values, and allow yourself the freedom to let go of anything that no longer serves you. If you found this helpful, congratulate yourself for sticking around to learn and experience more. And if there is someone in your life who is struggling with understanding what's actually shallow and what's the desires of their heart, share with them something that you've learned here. Who knows? Maybe you'll learn more about yourself in the process. Because you, my darling, are worthy of a beautifully full, loving, and deep life. Until next time, I'm holding you in the light.